So you got Darren Cheverini now up in the box, you as the co-offense coordinator. How does that kind of change your responsibility? Are you kind of his eyes and ears on the sideline now?
He and I have talked mostly about we want to talk in after the series, in between series, and during the series. What I've told him, and this is his personality, and it's what I think is best for us, is he needs to call it the way he feels it, and he needs to roll, and he needs to call fast, and he needs to call the stuff that we talked about during the week, and I felt like he did a good job of that today, of just rolling and going with his instincts, and that's where I think we're going to be best. And then when the series is over, we can talk about the things that we need to adjust or things that we need to address, but that's kind of been our mantra right now is, hey, you call it, man, call it fast, call it the way you feel it.
What were your impressions of the offense? McIntyre was talking about he was much more impressed with the offense today than the defense, but your thoughts of watching your offense today?
I get real skewed because my eyes are on those five guys, and I think we still have a really long way to go on the offensive line. To me, it's get up there, watch the film, figure out what we can get better at, figure out how we can get the right five guys in there at the same time that can kind of think on the same wavelength. And so for me right now, I'm glad we got several weeks until we play because we got a lot of improvement to make.
Fans in Folsom Field for a scrimmage. How did Colby kind of handle things today? From making calls and handling everything up front.
Just talking to him on the sideline and seeing it from the sideline, it seemed like he was relatively calm. But that's who he is. He's a very calm guy. Sometimes we got to push him to be a little bit less calm. So his blood pressure very rarely rises, and I would expect him to play that way as he gets into a game. You never really know until they get out there and they start doing it. But I think that he got us into some good situations today in terms of scheme. I think he played hard. Other than that, I'm going to have to evaluate it when we watch it. But I'm excited about his progression. I also thought Brett Tons did a nice job at center as well. And so we're trying to develop some depth there and trying to figure out who those 7 or 8 guys are that we can lean on.
The two practices we've been able to see, the starting 5 has been the same. Is that the kind of the group that you like going forward and try to get some continuity with that 5?
I told those guys last night and again this morning that today's going to decide that. And we worked probably 3 different groups with the ones today. Obviously what you're talking about was Kaiser, Tons, Purcell, Lynott, and Hagler, but we also worked Will Sherman extensively with the ones at guard and tackle, and we worked Jake Moretti extensively with the ones at tackle. We also worked Brett Tons at center with the ones. So we're just trying to figure out what that group's going to look like and put them in the best situation to help our offense be successful.
Still kind of a day-by-day thing with Jake, kind of taking it day by day with his leg and how that holds up?
I think the biggest thing is just trying to get him out there and get him confident. And so, right now we've kind of got him on a pitch count, and we're going to kind of build that as we go. But he's doing a heck of a job when he's out there. He's very natural at a lot of things. He has the ability to make you look like a real smart coach at times. And so that's kind of the goal, is to get him to the point where we find out the right number of plays for him to play and figure out where he fits in the group.
Would it be hard for a guy on a pitch count to win a starting job, or do you kind of keep that in mind in terms of your evaluation?
And I think when you're dealing with a relatively inexperienced group, there's nothing wrong with having maybe 2 guys that play one position, and both of them play during a game. We haven't made a final decision on that, but he's doing enough good things to certainly make us think about it. And Kaiser being able to play guard a little bit like he did today gives us some flexibility because he's got a lot of length in there, and he's a senior leader that's smart and tough. So I think that we've got some versatility. Now we got to really look at the film, decide who the guys are, and really let it sink in.
What do you like about the versatility of, you mentioned Kaiser, but then also Sherman? Those 2 guys both played on the left side, guard and tackle. How do those guys both do as far as that versatility?
Well, everybody's got strengths and weaknesses, right? And, we just need to figure out, basically, as we get closer to the first game, who are we going to be offensively, which I think we're close to finding out, and how do we put people in position to help us there. So we got to put the guys that are best pass protectors at tackle. We've got to put the guys that can really move the ground game in there at guard. We've got to put the guy that stirs the drink at center. So I don't know that we're closing in on our top 5, but I think we got about 8 that we feel are really hardcore in that mix.
Is Lynott kind of done being the center for you guys?
He played some center today. I wouldn't anticipate him being the starting center right now, because I think that he and Aaron have played a lot of football next to each other at right guard and right But he can do it. I feel comfortable with him going into a game and do it, but more often than not, probably out of necessity at this point.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.